let's can we move to the Joe Kent stuff, could we please? And I know, and normally I would want to end on the stupidest take, but I feel like I owe you the stupidest take right out of the gate. So Joe Kent, for those who don't know, is a completely unqualified dickhead who was second in command to Tulsi Gabbard. They wanted him to actually get the job, her job, but they knew he would never pass confirmation, so they put him in, in an acting role, knowing that nobody wants him in that job. And then he walked because apparently he's against the Iran war because he's a Fuentes maggot, right? And anyways, this is there are those who are saying he was too pure and he walked off, and now the left are celebrating him as a hero, this MAGA celeb. Now the left loves him because he turned on Trump. And the other ones are saying he was, he's, bought into, he's working for Iran or whatever. Like he's against Israel and the United States, and the Ben Shapiro crowd are all saying that. And right in the middle of it, I think Greg Kelly, who does his show, I'm fairly certain out of a storage shed, is just, he can't understand why he would pass up the paycheck. Joe Kent, you walked off the job. Are you crazy? Greg Kelly. Well, first of all, yes. Secondly, what?
Take a look at this. It is set up. The director of national counterterrorism, his name is Joe Kent.
Well, his name's still Joe Kent, but he was that was his title.
And with everything going on right now.
Right, I know, right? It's nuts.
A patriot would do everything they could to save America.
Yeah, but then he's a maggot, so he doesn't really care about that. This is all a show to blow smoke up Trump's ass and feather your nest, just like he is, because you want to live a rich, arrogant piece of shit life like he has, and you figure if you hang around it, some of it will rub off, and then you end up with just like a little bit of orange drip on your shoulder, and if you're a woman, you get parts of yourself grabbed. So,
but not this guy.
Pathetic. Get him, Greg Kelly, the most miserable man on the internet.
Joe Kent, in this moment, decided to quit.
What? He quit? We made a graphic and everything.
He quit.
I know, it says quit right there on the screen. I was confused for a second as well, but then I was like, that is a funny looking word. And it's fun. Like, you wouldn't even think, you want to pronounce the Q and then go to Q it, and you're like, what does that mean? And then you put it together like, oh, I've seen that before. And then you're like, oh, that means that guy no longer does his job. It's
He walked off the job.
Yeah, that's what quitting means. I'm fairly certain. Yeah.
He quit. He walked off the job. Are you crazy?
Do you know how much money you're making? I work in a shed. They set this screen up behind me, and I'm stuck here in this parking garage in San Diego because they won't let me use the real studio anymore.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? What are you nuts? What difference does it make what your ideals are, or what you ran on, or what you want your political future to be, or whether you think this is strategically nuts? And even if you'd be for blowing up everybody in the Middle East all at once, and you just don't think we're doing it in the right order, who cares? Take the money and just sit back and put your feet up.
They're coming to get us.
They are. They're on their way. The Iranians are in rowboats right now, and Joe Kent should be out there whacking at them with a tennis racket, and he fucks off. Where is he?
This is when we need everybody.
Yeah, I know. All hands on deck, even if those hands won't do the job because they refuse to, and they'll be standing there like this, and while other people are swabbing the deck, like Greg.
All right,
whatever.
Maybe he just gave a heads up. I don't know, his mom's sick. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he quit for some other reason. I don't really pay attention. I don't know why he left. I didn't read his stupid letter that basically criticizes. I don't read anything that criticizes Trump.
Something, right? No.
Something about ideals and people not listening to him or something. I wasn't really paying attention.
He's quitting right away. From his resignation letter, he's quitting immediately.
Oh my God. So not only is he a quitter, he already did. He quitted. And then you can't even call him a quitter anymore because it already happened. Shit.
Let's go ahead and put that up if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's yes. Effective today, yeah.
I have decided to resign from my position as director of the National Counterterrorism Center, effective today.
Yeah, you couldn't finish out the day and just finish stapling the forms? There are Iranian terrorists in rowboats headed this way, and you can't at least wait till the end of the day to finish your shift?
You know, I worked at a grocery store when
No. No, stop it. No way. Oh shit! I needed that. What? Yes, you did. You did. You might still when you're not on the air, for all we know. What? Please tell me this is your analogy. I can't press play, but I desperately want to hear the story of how Greg Kelly quit his job working at a grocery store with dignity. Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
effective today. You know, I worked at a grocery store when I was in 9th and 10th grade.
Okay.
And I remember when I left, I gave
Like it was yesterday.
2 weeks notice.
Oh, yeah, because you were in 9th and 10th grade?
You always got to give some sort of notice.
Yeah, you're not going to get your last paycheck. You won't be able to get hired in another grocery store. So what chance does he have to be the director of National Counterterrorism Center for another country anytime soon? They're going to go, you walked off the list. I don't know. Have you ever thought about working at a grocery store? No, I don't know who Greg Kelly is. No, I don't know why he hangs out at the grocery store saying he used to work there all the time, talking to 8th graders. None of us do.
Right? You don't run away.
You don't. No, you don't. Absolutely not. Well said. I agree. You treat the National Counterterrorism Center with at least as much dignity and respect as you would a Safeway. God damn it.
This guy,
This is killing me. This guy. He would never be able to work at Safeway.
has run away. He's got beef with the war in Iran, which is only 17 days old.
Right. How can you get mad at a 17-day-old child like this? It's only the 17th day. If you think it sucks now, just wait.
And from what I'm hearing, this thing is going to be over probably before the 28th day.
Probably.
This is contained.
Is it?
This is the issue that Joe Kent
Whoever he is, this guy.
can't abide. He's quitting over the Iran war. I cannot, in good conscience, support the ongoing war in Iran. Now,
Just hang out. It'll be over in like 28 days. There will be zero blowback, no mission creep. It's perfect. We'll never have to go back in. I mean, we had to go in last year, and we had to go back in this year. But we're not, if it's like every 8 months, can't you just put your conscience aside for about every 6 months for like 3 days, or 3 weeks, or 3 months, or probably 3 years?
actually, Joe, you don't
You asshole.
have to.
You don't, okay? You don't have to support it. You just gotta you gotta go stand on the docks and hit those Iranian terrorists in those rowboats with a tennis racket, and do your goddamn job.
You don't have to support it. Quite frankly, it's not your job. You're fighting terrorism in America.
Right, and he thinks maybe this will cause more of it, and also he may have gotten a better offer from Turning Points USA.
That's gone through the roof. And for policy disagreements, philosophical disagreements, you don't like the war in Iran, well, whatever, it's happening. And more terrorism is happening probably as a result, and I think we can deal with it.
Wait, sorry, so you want a quitter in office right about this time anyways? Sorry, real quick. So you want a person who can put their conscience aside and not do things, and do things that they think are bad for the country or unconstitutional or violent or whatever. You want that is also a quitter. You want that person in this job. Explain to me, Greg. Greg, buddy, why do you want somebody who would quit in a situation like this to go back to the job? Why would you? Why would you go? Why wouldn't you just go good riddance and move on to the next guy that they have? Why would you want? How come you want him to? Greg, please explain to me why? Why do you want the quitter to stay in the job when it's this dangerous? You look at all the stuff that's happening. Why are you mad? Why do you go, phew? Good thing we got rid of that guy before it really got bad. We can get somebody in there who's not a quitter.
Wouldn't you want to be involved?
No, apparently not.
You're going to leave people hanging? You're going to leave the United States of America hanging.
Oh my God. He's leaving us all hanging. Dressed left. Some of us hanging lower than you.
You're going to quit.
Oh my God. How could you? Joe Kent. We need a quitter in a job like this. Don't you understand?
Now, why did he quit?
I don't know. Read his letter.
What's really going on here?
Yeah, what is up? I mean, you kidding? I'm not going to read the letter.
I know he has all kinds of weird ideas about Israel that I do not agree with.
Okay. So why didn't you want him in the job if that's the case?
Look.
Tell me. Let's get it. Bring it in here, Greg.
He has his reasons, and we'll go through those. But
please, yeah, and get to it quickly because I'm really tired of this. This is laborious and stupid.
Let me tell you what's really going on here.
What's really going on, man?
He doesn't want to be a staffer.
No, this is all about ego. We need an egomaniac quitter to be director of the National Counterterrorism Center. This is America.
Doesn't want to be anonymous.
No, he wants to be known. It's all about fame. He's just a glory hound, and we need him to be the director of the National Counterterrorism Center.
This is a person who sees himself as a star.
Oh my God. Or perhaps an extra in a lumberjack commercial.
He's run for Congress.
Oh, that's what it's about. It's all about. He thinks he's running for president. He wants to be Vance's Department of the Interior Secretary.
Twice. He's also lost.
Well, Trump likes to hire losers.
Twice.
So maybe this is Trump's fault?
Anybody who makes an ad like this, I'm sorry, is just not a normal, well-adjusted person.
Sorry, real quick. Hold on. For fuck's sake. If he's not a normal, well-adjusted person, why are you upset that he's leaving? What? Could anyone? I'm getting a brain cramp. Can anyone explain this to me at all? Jesus Christ.
In my view.
And that's the only view that matters.
I'm Joe Kent.
And I'm lost.
Service has always been a big part of my life. As a Boy Scout and an Eagle Scout, I worked on search and rescue missions right here in the Cascades.
Yeah, mainly I was the one that was lost, but That's not important right now.
As soon as I turned 18, I enlisted, becoming an Army Ranger stationed up at Fort Lewis and then a Green Beret. After 20 years and 11 combat deployments,
They let me live in a city.
I moved back home here to Yakult to raise my boys. Easy, fellas. And now I'm running for Congress so I can fight for all our families. I'm Joe Kent. I approve this message.
I gotta say, as ads go, I think that works. Like, I don't know what the hang-up is. Is decent editing? I mean, I don't like the guy, but it's well put together. I can't wait to get to Washington and leave you hanging. If you thought I'd be a fuck-up as the director of Counterterrorism Center, wait till you see me in Congress. Right.
I'd be honored to serve you.
Who are those people?
His extended family, I think? Why do you... extras. He hired them. Is it because this lady is brown? Is that why you're like, you don't know those people? Look at the brown lady. Who are they? It's his family, dummy.
We don't fall for this stuff anymore.
We don't? You think the war's going to be over on the 28th?
Ooh, wow. Did you see those rambunctious kids on the porch? No.
No. Look, those are rented children.
That is phony baloney stuff.
Sorry, so he doesn't have children? Those aren't his boys? He has CGI children? Is this AI?
And anybody who makes an ad like that, in my opinion, is ambitious, has in a bad way. It's okay.
Anyone who makes an ad has an ambition to have the desired outcome of the ad met. Is Coca-Cola really about ego at this point? I thought it was about polar bears.
Be ambitious, but that's a lust for power.
Why? What? How many? There's 100,000 reasons why Joe Kent's an asshole, but you have to run an ad to run for office.
Look at me. He lost.
Oh, God. Oh, that's good. Leave it up to Greg Kelly to actually do a segment about Joe Kent that has no substance whatsoever. That's difficult to do. There's a lot of automatic substance in how awful Joe Kent is, as we will see. I gotta... Greg Kelly, the most miserable man on the internet, ladies and gentlemen. Jealous of a two-time loser. And that's how he shall be known from this day forward. Hit the like, share the show. It's Hal Sparks, Mega Worldwide. Now, if I may, and I must, this Joe Kent thing, for those of you who don't know, he was he's one of these guys who can't actually get a real job in the administration because nobody would allow for it, because he's got kind of a Mark Wayne Mullen style background, and he's just a toxic shithead in a lot of ways, and the right, liked him for that. They liked it for, he was one of these kind of like not politically correct dudes, full of all sorts of the racisms. They were big fans. And now that he's leaving, and he obviously has called out the Trump administration that he can't support the Iran war, and he thinks it's a mistake, the usual suspects have gotten their marching orders from D.C. Where's the evidence? Top Trump officials' controversial resignation letter sparks political firestorm. Also, I've noticed they're using my last name in all of these. Greg Kelly did it in his lower third. I do not approve, and there will be a lawsuit coming. I'm going to sue. But let's... then there was Lana Douche, who the White House shadow war over Israel has been exposed, which is, I think, that Tucker and other people were trying to... He was getting wrong. He's faded. So is he the shadow warrior or they? I'm not quite sure which side she's on. But there's a bunch of these guys. Yeah, we'll get to that one in a second. So I think we'll look at a little bit of Lana Douche before we look at Glenn Beck. Hit the like, share the show. It's Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide.
Did you guys all see this?
Yes, we all saw it. And if you don't mind, please close your hospital gown next time.
The letter, this is how we started our day.
Thanks. Thanks. As if maggotdom wasn't having enough earthquakes. We need this shit, okay?
Here's this letter. Started our
Ugh. Start a day. I open up my inbox. There it is.
day like this. So we had, he said that he was stepping down.
Or aside. Or out. With my baby.
He was leaving his post.
Well, you can't take your post with you.
Joe Kent, who works in Intel,
Used to work in Intel.
as director of the National Counterterrorism Center,
Yes, former director of the National Counterterrorism Center. He left immediately.
effective today, he
Right, so that would be the former part.
said. And he wrote this letter and he was saying that he's been blaming Israel. Basically, he's dry humping the Israel excuse.
I didn't realize that was available in my like pull down menu of excuses that I can go to now. Can I go to the dry humping Israel excuse? I don't know when it would come in handy, but I'd have to think it would at some point.
There's the letter.
Imagine if you actually blew it up to, the screen and kind of scrolled up on it so that you could see it.
And basically, all you need to know is
Yeah, basically.
Israel, and never in
That's all right. Israel. That's all we need.
wars. Israel and it's some Israel. I'm not going to read it because
Yeah, who does that? Reading.
for the same reason
You can't.
that I'm not going to entertain this as anything more than performative exit from a leaker. That's the same. I mean, that's kind of exactly why I don't like to go and debate the hobo sitting in his own filth next to a dumpster behind the QT for the same reason.
Sorry. Did that guy used to be the former director of counterterrorism as well?
So this
Sorry. What kind of intel clearance does this hobo have? Inquiring minds want to know, because if he knows that much, maybe the QT is just cover, and maybe he's sitting in his own filth because it's actually faux filth. And if you look underneath it, there's a door that goes like 5 miles into the Earth's crust to the NORAD bunker or something like this. And the guy's actually just an amazing agent who's been playing hobo all these years.
I'm just going to tell you
Please do.
this guy is apparently well, now we know where the leaks are coming from. I was
Oh, so they're true.
wondering who was leaking stuff to Axios.
Yeah, me too. Especially because, again, you can't leak a lie.
And I was wondering maybe where Tucker Carlson got some of his stuff, because it
Russia.
seems like, is this the guy who was trying to leak stuff to Tucker?
But, let's just say yeah, for the sake of making you guys eat more shit, sure.
Fair question.
Yeah, I agree.
I want you guys to understand there's a shadow war happening in the administration right now.
Oh, okay, good. So there's a war in the Middle East and a war in Venezuela, and we're probably going to have a war with Cuba. And in the administration, there's another war. Well, gosh, I guess everything is projection with this crowd. So
Absolute shadow war that's taking place in the administration right now.
Yep, I'm getting a text from one of the Shadow Warriors right this moment.
You basically have the Tulsi
Basically,
Tucker camp
the
versus
Tulsi Tucker camp.
Trump and
Because they're TNT, the dynamite. Okay, that's
everybody else. That's happening right now.
Okay, totally great. In on it. Fantastic. What's happening?
And they're trying to overrule Trump and undermine him every way that they can. I don't trust Tulsi Gabbard at DNI. I don't. I have never trusted Tulsi Gabbard. I have not trusted Tulsi Gabbard since she came out hardcore against the Second Amendment and then decided to switch and act like she was very much in favor of the Second Amendment without
Yeah, it's like Trump.
explaining why.
Actually, that's not fair. Trump was the exact opposite. He acted like he was for it, and then he got into office and was like, why don't we take the guns, do due process later, which I'm sure you loved.
She made her switch. And I was told by all of these people, well, just trust us.
Trust the plan.
She's good people. I don't trust you. I don't know who the F you are.
Imagine how I feel. I really, it's not even that I don't know who you are. It's I don't care.
What makes you think I'm going to trust you?
I don't know. My car keys, my handsome face, my charm, the fact that I smell like a lovely choice in soap.
friends of mine who worked in government who were saying, no, 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 it's okay. I felt like I was getting used or manipulated because people were telling me to not ask questions about her. People that were involved are on the periphery of this administration, and even some other people who did some military consulting were telling me to not ask questions about Tulsi Gabbard.
Wow, now I understand why you voted for Trump and you support all his people. I mean, who hasn't been in that situation before? That's fantastic. You must be happier about your vote every day.
Moment, I don't care who you are. I don't care how long I've known you. You really need to understand when
I'm trying.
say that I like dogs better than people, I don't trust anybody. Nobody. Maybe
It's not that I'm just trying to make you like me better.
maybe my own family, my own immediate family.
Yeah, I don't trust my cousins either. You know what I mean? Woo!
That's about it. But everybody else, that's why you got to keep folders on everybody. You got to.
What? Lana Douche keeps a dossier on our extended family members.
Keep files on everybody because you can't trust a single person.
That's a wonderful message of hope.
And the more you get into it, you still can't trust them. I'm telling you right now that they're trying to gut him, rhetorically speaking.
Well, yeah, I don't think they have the forearm strength to gut him. Have you seen his gut?
They are trying to undermine him and tank the remainder of his term. And
Yeah, he's doing fine on his own, though.
they're going to screw up midterms for everyone so that they
Well,
can come in 28, and they feel like that's going to be the time that they can actually come in and get some people that are more like-minded on their side in place. That's what's
to do what?
happening right now. So you have the Tucker Tulsi faction,
TNT with dynamite.
and then you have the people who are like POTUS and others, and
The good people, the heroes, the victims.
the Fettermans and things like that. That's what's happening. And this guy
Sorry, POTUS and Fetterman together. Wow.
is part of that first camp that I had mentioned.
Uh-huh.
And it's so weird to see this happening.
Sorry, which was the first camp? I lost track. Is the first camp the TNT camp, who's dynamite? Or, shouldn't POTUS be first always? I'm just going to assume you meant them.
Trump had problems with leaks in his first term.
Yeah, but then he got a better diaper, and Walt Naughta's always there with a broom anyway.
He's having problems with leaks this term.
Yeah, but it's from his anus, so it's even worse. But again, if I liked Walt Naughta at all, I would pity him.
Because he's got people trying to undermine him because they think that Iran should be left alone.
Imagine.
Let me explain something very simply.
Please, in deference to me, because I don't know what the fuck you're getting at.
Nobody likes going to war. I don't like war, and I've been incredibly consistent in this, as
Right, but you're not going to war. Hegseth's not going to war, but he loves it.
has POTUS. I mean, for crying out loud, anyone who thinks that POTUS didn't dislike Iran has never paid any attention to this man. They are Johnny-come-latelys. They are a day late and a dollar short.
Sorry, so he dislikes Iran, so that's why he has to go to war. He doesn't like it, but he dislikes them.
They need to shut the ever-loving hell up and sit
Yes.
down and allow the people who
That's
have been
right.
paying attention to this,
That's
who
right.
have watched this for more than just a half second on TikTok, actually provide the analysis, because you're just putting turds in the punch bowl of national discourse.
Yeah, which is, I think Glenn Beck's job, actually, which I'll bring. He's got a fresh one for you. Where's the evidence in Joe Kent's letter, I'm guessing. So stop. Okay, I'm trying. Here we go.
There's something that's just happened that
Oh, dear.
is remarkably historic.
Generic word to cover the fact that I think this is a real shit show. The shit has hit the fan in a historic way.
I want to read it to you. President Trump, this comes from the Director of National Intelligence and National Counterterrorism Center, Joseph
Are the ums in this letter also former?
Kent. President Trump, after much reflection, I've decided to resign from my position as Director of the National Counterterrorism Center effective today.
Oh, my God.
I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel
Whatever.
and its powerful American lobby.
Damn. He went full Fuentes.
I know. This is so damaging.
I agree. The fact that Trump hired this guy in the first place, or the way that he's leaving. I'm going to go with both.
This is Pentagon Papers stuff.
Well, the Pentagon Papers had like some elements of like strategy and the conversations back and forth and like debate that was behind the scenes. This is just one guy's resignation letter, but sure. It's just, you know what it is? It's like the cliff notes of the Pentagon Papers. For maggots, this is like 5,000 pages of documents.
This is as important as the Pentagon Papers.
Is it, though?
This is going to possibly change the course.
This will change the law
of America.
Wow. Okay. Sorry. Joe Kent leaving his job because of what he believes is going to change the course of America, or the fact that Donald Trump was dumb enough to hire this asshole and didn't expect this would happen?
I support the values of foreign policies that you campaigned on in 16, 2020, 2024, which you enacted in your first term.
Yeah, except he didn't, and he never intended to.
Until June of 2025, you understood that wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of the precious lives of our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. In your first administration, you understood better than any modern president how to decisively apply military power without getting us drawn into a never-ending war.
Actually, he didn't. He ran on getting us out of Afghanistan and never did, punted it to the next term, and it's clear now that he never intended to leave. He also thought we should seize the oil in the countries that we invaded, like Iraq, and it didn't give a damn about bombing Yemen or Syria or Lebanon or any of these other places, as long as he could do it, and look macho at the same time.
You demonstrated this by killing Soleimani and defeating ISIS.
By the way, he didn't defeat ISIS. ISIS still exists. They eliminated the caliphate in northern Iraq, which was a plan that had been going on for a while. The only difference he made was they were in the tail end of it, and they sped it along because he didn't give a shit how many civilians were killed.
In this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your American First platform and...
How? First of all, American first? That's the Fuentes drop. It would be America first. I don't know if he's misreading it, though.
Sowed pro-war sentiments to encourage a war with Iran. This echo chamber.
And what choice did Trump have but to just soak it up and barf it out? Like he didn't actually have he doesn't have a thinking brain in his skull. He can't make his own decisions. If Lindsey Graham gets anywhere near him, we're going to fucking nuke Pakistan next.
Was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States.
Excuse me, do you think Trump doesn't know more than the intelligence community and the generals, and also the clerk at Safeway who had Greg Kelly fired?
This is incredible.
It's quite credible, actually. It's like you could see it brewing for a long time.
You can say a lot of things, but to say that Donald Trump is a dupe...
A little on the nose. Yeah. I mean, like, why would you go so obvious?
And has been duped by a foreign power because he...
Right, but what other excuse do you have except this is awesome, I guess?
Wasn't smart enough to figure it out.
Right, yeah.
Is absolutely insane.
So Trump put an insane person in charge of national security, counterterrorism. Doesn't that make Trump either insane or a dupe?
Insane.
I'll go with dupe. Insane gives him too much credit. That lays at least the idea that he had a functional brain at one point and it stopped functioning. I don't know that was ever true.
Deceive you, blah, 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 that you...
Blah, 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 Israel something.
...should strike now when there was and that there was a clear path to a swift victory. This was a lie, and it is the same tactic the Israelis used to draw us into a disaster Iraq war that cost our nation the lives of thousands of our best men and women. We cannot make this mistake again.
Yeah, by the way, that's a big floater in the Republican circles right now, is that the Jews got us into Iraq and not George Bush and Dick Cheney and they're like Hall of Flunkies and PNAC, the Project for a New American Century.
This is going to set the world on fire.
The war might, but I don't know that this will.
As a veteran who deployed to
It's just upsetting all you guys. We're fine.
combat
I'm glad that psycho is out of there. I just don't know that they're going to fill the spot with anybody who's more competent than him, because Trump just is hiring sycophants. He's just crowding himself around with sycophants right now, like he's Skeksis dying in his emperor's bed.
11 times, and as a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved wife Shannon in a war manufactured by Israel, I cannot support sending.
Yeah, he's speaking as half of MAGA right now, and he's in a high position. And Glenn's, again, Glenn is turd polishing today.
The next generation off.
Yes, and John Bolton. Good point, Obie Golding. Yes, I shouldn't leave him out. John Bolton was a big fan of Iraq.
Fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people, nor justifies the cost of American lives. I pray you will reflect upon what you are doing in Iran and who we are doing it for. The time for bold action is now. You can't. You can reverse course and chart a new path for our.
Yeah, you can't reverse course. People will, what will the people think? Maggots will think you're. Sorry.
You can allow you can allow us to.
Oh fuck, man! Have somebody else read it.
Further toward decline and chaos. You hold the cards. It was an honor to serve in your administration and to serve our great nation. Joseph Kent.
If that is his real name.
This is a senior official in
former. He quit already. It's in the letter. It's in the first paragraph.
Intelligence, saying in real.
Yeah, which is also an ironic title that he's in intelligence.
Time that the United States has entered a war under false pretenses. That Israel got us into the first war in Iraq.
Right, which is crazy. Sure, go for it. Yeah. And Trump hired this guy.
And now they duped the.
You think he just came up with that in the last couple of weeks?
American president into fighting this war. This is going to fracture public trust.
Why would this wreck my trust? I don't trust either of these assholes.
This is the worst letter that could be done that I have ever seen.
Wow, that's obviously you've never read early Penthouse.
If you want to hold, if you're trying to win an election.
Oh, see, I don't know. Is Joe running?
This is the worst thing.
Ugh. Ick.
Our allies now are going to be questioning our judgment.
Yeah, they already are.
Our enemies are going to exploit this like crazy.
Like insane crazy. Like nuts. Insane crazy.
The war effort now,
The war effort. Excuse me. Excursion effort? Where the fuck they find this guy?
Don't think you have given aid and comfort to Iran.
Well, I mean, he quit it unconscious. He didn't just prop up the Ayatollah's feet with a couple of pillows.
Just have.
Ugh, but too late.
You've told them exactly what I'm telling you right now. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I don't know how you survive things like this because this guy has just taken gasoline and thrown tanks of it into a bonfire.
Throwing tanks of gasoline into a bonfire. Well, at least it's an actual bonfire that's already burning, right then? So you're saying there was already a bonfire there. So where there's smoke, there's fire. And so those who were saying that we shouldn't have gone into Iran and that we did it at Israel's bidding, Glenn Beck is saying that there is already fire there. That we moved beyond smoke, and that he's just adding more fuel to that fire. Okay.
It's already burning, and that fire that is burning.
Yes, tell us the story of the fire, and will the s'mores of freedom be laying across the fire, or are we just going to make bald eagle hot dogs?
Is not the Islamic fires.
Oh, okay. So I get my fires mixed up all the time.
But the Jews are bad fires.
Oh yeah, that's a rough fire. The Jews are bad fire. Yeah, yeah. What does it say on the matchbook that you make? Never mind. I don't want to know.
This is probably the most serious internal breaks over a war decision in modern history.
Wow. Just imagine if this had been a smart war and he didn't come out and quit and say stuff that the half of the president's party believes and the rest of the country is just against the war for different reasons.
Never seen anything like this.
Well, I mean, you've never seen a pile of assholes that like the ones Trump has hired and put in serious positions before. So,
and there's going to have to be investigations on it. And I hope
why
we get to the truth on this.
What do you mean? You hope we get to the truth? That do you think he quit for another reason?
But now we've just added that one.
Great. Now we've done it. Right when the war was going awesome and everybody was getting on board and we were all lining up. And then in the middle of all this, Joe can't. Why you say it ain't so, Joe?
The fire. That was already burning out of control.
It was already burning out of control.
Jason, your analysis on this?
Jason just came back from having his urinalysis.
I
I hope everything came out okay in the end.
think that we need an immediate statement from DNI Tulsi Gabbard immediately to
Yeah, at least a goodbye.
go into the details that they probably did not even want to go into at the.
Probably not. They just, just because they were under oath and they probably didn't want to say it in a hearing. Where they'd be embarrassed. Best behind closed doors. Classified briefing.
Moment, but they going to have to now.
They going to have to.
This is incredibly
It's incredibly.
irresponsible, and it needs to be cleared up 5 minutes ago.
So we need a time machine? I don't know where we're going to get one of those. It's like 5 o'clock. I got to finish the show and be on Cliff Schecter's show in about he's doing a 12-hour broadcast. I'm going to be on at 7:30 my time. I still got to cook dinner and freshen up.
They need to go into rapid damage control mode
That's right. Do you have any idea how much damage has happened swiftly?
and explain exactly every,
What?
point by
Yeah.
point
What?
and counter everything
Yeah.
Joe Kent just said. Now,
Or not. If they can't, they just got to admit to it, Open their heart, tell the story.
I don't have a problem with. So Joe Kent he's always seemed to me to be kind of like a very libertarian voice
Yeah, he
within
is.
the administration.
Yeah.
And his
So he has no political affiliation, and he shouldn't actually be in government because. Okay,
he's
sorry.
dying in Syria. I'm sure that pushed him further towards the no war camp.
Sure it does.
Yeah, he probably started caring or something, which will really make it difficult for you to continue to be a maggot.
And I can get that. I like having an anti-Bolton style group
Me
of
too.
people within
Me
there. We need those.
Yeah, but then what happens when they quit? The reason you have them in there is because they resign in, their post if they think they can't in good conscience carry out the orders. That's why you want those people in there, because that's the line, and then you don't expect them to actually do it.
Voices. But this is so irresponsible.
Oh my God. It makes me so mad. I'm not, I'm not angry. I'm hurt.
Might as well just say that, I read the protocols of the elders of Zion.
He doesn't have to say that,
The
did.
Jews control the world. He basically said
basically
that.
Yeah, he did. And again, you think he came to this conclusion before he got the job, or like after he got the job? You don't think this is who he is?
said that. He basically said that Jews
Basically.
control the United States of America.
Yeah. There's a whole section of MAGA that thinks
Come
that.
on.
Dude. We can make stupid decisions without anybody telling us to. Have you seen Donald Trump speak? Of course he made these decisions. Benjamin Netanyahu didn't have to talk him into doing something dumb. It comes naturally to him.
This is so irresponsible. I don't think I've ever seen.
Well, he technically stepped away. He doesn't have any responsibility now. He literally, it's not irresponsible. He gave up the responsibility because, which is not irresponsible. It's actually the responsible thing to do, to say, I don't want to be responsible. That's very ironically a responsible thing.
Anything quite like this, and the only reason
I haven't.
Saying something like this, you might as well. It's got to be an intention grab. It's got to.
Yeah, nobody said. He's probably just saying the Jews are behind everything to be liked.
I don't know. He's throwing.
And again,
what the hell? He was a guest on this show.
like the Pentagon Papers, where's the evidence of this?
Yeah, another pile of crap.
Yep, none.
Where there's no evidence of this.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He can't prove that.
So he has just taken, and this was my problem, and I said this yesterday. I've said this every day since the war started.
Every day. It's true. You've said it every day. What have you said?
I don't need more opinions. I need more facts.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to have those, and you don't accept the facts that don't come directly from the administration. And by and large, those are actually opinions.
I'm tired of opinions.
Well, guess what? I think you're an asshole. So, tough shit, I guess.
I want facts.
Which set of facts are you interested in? I know, because it doesn't sound like you actually do. It sounds like you want numbers that support your bias, I guess.
If this is true, back it up.
Yeah, I want to hear a tape conversation of Netanyahu going, Klaatu Verada Nikto, and Trump going, I'm the Manchurian candidate, except Manchuria is China, but I would know that. Who would know that? Who knows it? Nobody knows it.
With facts. Show me
Yes. Fax him a picture of your butt.
how this happened. You know, he's made charges here that they deceived the president
Yeah.
in believing that Iran. I'm sorry. Have you ever talked to the president of the United States?
No, I have not.
Do you have any understanding of who this guy is?
Yes, he's a sexist, egotistical, lying, hypocritical bigot.
I can't imagine anyone being able to deceive him.
Oh, that I know. Okay, sorry. I understand. That's because you've been deceived by the same people. See, if both of you are eating the same shit sandwich, it goes to prove that you both are willing to eat the shit sandwich either by choice or taste. So, the reason you don't think it's possible to deceive him is because you yourself have been deceived similarly, and you would lack the capacity to understand that he has been deceived if indeed he has. Now, I also think that both of you are, choosing what to say you believe to be the most, financially beneficial to you. So I don't know full well what you believe and what you don't believe. But this is, I think, the Occam's rubber mallet in this situation would be that you believe everything Trump pretends to believe, and so therefore you think he actually believes it.
Into, hey, go fight Israel's war. You might deceive him on, hey, but I'd like to see the evidence. You might be able to, with evidence, say, Mr. President, see the pictures that they showed you here? See the stats that they showed you here? Here are the stats that say that's not true.
Yeah, like his staff does with polling to make him think that he's got great poll numbers.
I could see somebody coming, a group of people coming into the Oval and briefing the president and saying, Mr. President, here is the information. But I also believe somebody like Joe Kent, and this is why he was important, a libertarian point of view, is important to go into the Oval Office, because that's when you go into the Oval Office and say, Mr. President, these things are not true.
Mr. President, these are what we call Jew facts. What do you expect him to say?
Then the president would have said, I'm just guessing here, but I know Donald Trump well enough to know he's not a dupe.
Methinks Milady doth protest too much. He is a dupe. He buys a lot of stuff that's stupid, and that other people have convinced him of doing. He has a penchant, especially at rallies, to say the last thing he was told as if it's something he's known forever, but it's new to them. I look at what he said about Abraham Lincoln.
That's when somebody like Joe Kent would have come in and said, Mr. President, these things are wrong. And the president would have said, Joe, can you show me the evidence that this is wrong?
He's like, what do you think I work at the counterterrorism department. I don't have access to actual facts and figures. I feel it in my MAGA heart. And Trump would have gone, yeah.
Can you prove that? Because I have this evidence over here.
Yeah, that's what Trump does all day. Sits at his desk comparing evidence.
And I don't want to go to war. I don't want to do that. He would.
But I will.
Said that. I don't want to do this, but I have this. Can you prove that to be wrong? No. Well, then, Joe.
Well, can you prove that they have nukes or that they were 2 weeks away? I mean, he said they were 2 weeks away from having a bomb, in his opinion.
What do I do?
This is his Trump impersonation, by the way.
Do I take Joe's word for it?
Yeah, who's an asshole who I put in charge of counterterrorism? Because what the fuck does that mean?
Or
is that something Trump probably, like, he thinks people seeking asylum are from asylums? He probably thinks counterterrorism is stuff that only happens at diners.
Do I take the evidence that has been presented by my own intel?
He works under the DNI. He's literally the second under the DNI. That's where you put him. Like, he reports directly to the Director of National Intelligence, and she agrees with him.
That's exactly what the president would have done.
Yeah, totally. If you filmed it, I'm sure that's exactly the way it went down.
Ricky, I want to bring you in on this.
Yeah,
Don't lose that number, by the way. Also, who is Ricky, and is she in heaven talking to us?
thing to point out is that I'm pretty sure Vice President J.D. Vance is aligned in his foreign policy worldview with Joe Kent. But what you don't hear from J.D. Vance is it was an honor to serve the president, but also he's lying to you. We are all lying to you.
Well, yeah, because he's the vice president and he's planning on running, and he doesn't have any scruples at all. I mean, you put a cult member in the spot, and then you're shocked that he's acting on his QAnon-esque beliefs. And largely because he's found some comfort, to borrow your word, from the majority of the populace who's against the war.
So there's that. And then the other thing I'd like to know is who
can you kick my ass?
Who is pulling Trump by the nose?
And isn't that a disgusting mental image?
Is it Israel or is it the Arab leaders?
I lean towards the Arab leaders myself.
Just in the last 24 hours, we have headlines stating that several Gulf states are urging Trump to keep going on Iran and to fully dismantle them.
No.
So is Trump
Iran,
run by the nose?
No, that's not possible because Israel is doing this so they can destroy their Arab neighbors and keep them, keep them under their toe.
Oh, that's the Tucker Carlson angle. He's saying that's why. She's not citing what Joe Kent's argument is. She's citing, and he's ironically pushing back with what would be Joe Kent's talking point, I guess.
So that's not true. There's none of those things actually happened. Do you have any evidence that those things happened?
MBS was the last call that Trump took from a world leader before he launched the Iran war.
Key.
Even after Netanyahu had been on him for the better part of the year to go ahead and do it. Even before the bombing last year, he wanted the bombing last year to go into the rest of this, and he wanted to get the okay from MBS.
Don't get me started. I didn't want to bring.
At least we can laugh.
Story to you.
You do have the evidence. You have the written word from those allies that are all Arabs.
Right. So the ones that he has business dealings with, crypto, World Liberty Financial, his golf courses, the Live Golf Tournament thing through the Saudis and through the UAE, his son-in-law and his daughter's businesses in Dubai.
Yes, I have that. Do you have the evidence to the other side that Israel is trying to do this war to destroy the Arab world? No, you have an opinion. Well, I've got an ass and an opinion. They're both worth exactly the same thing.
Really? You can... Oh, well, I guess that's true, because with your ass, you can rid yourself of waste, and, you could eliminate toxins and unused foodstuffs and other things from your body, and your opinions are basically shit, too. So, yes, I agree. Your ass and your opinions are almost identical. And by the way, I've always said, opinions are like assholes. If you tell me you don't have one, I know you're full of shit.
They're not worth a damn thing.
Well, sew yours up and see how long you live.
Give me the facts.
Yeah, the fact is, a man with an ass without an asshole will explode in a matter of days.
That is the problem with this country.
It is the country. It's not Joe Kent and Trump's hiring practices. It's the country. It's our fucking fault. It's a chat room. It's your fault. American people, it's your fault. That's right. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Make a comment below and apologize. Apologize for making Glenn Beck upset by forcing Trump to hire Joe Kent to just show you guys, because you Russia people are what backed Trump against the wall and made him have to do this.
You have too many people like me.
I would agree. I think one's too many.
Who are paid to give you an opinion and perspective on what the hell all of this means.
And I don't know what's going on. How am I supposed to form an opinion when I don't have any of the things that opinions are based on, and the people that I would take opinions from now have different opinions, and those opinions are not easily monetized?
Unfortunately, there
Why is he lecturing us?
are so many of us.
That's right. There are too many. I mean, you should, I think, take a page out of Joe Kent's book and quit the blaze or shut it down.
That some people have to get a leg up on somebody else.
I guess so, yeah. And so I guess Joe Kent's going to go start another anti-Jew podcast, because that's a growth industry amongst the right now.
To get more clicks. I've got to get more advertisers. I got to get more followers. I got to get whatever it is.
Right. So I'm sorry. The director of the Counterterrorism Center wrote this letter and quit his job for clicks and subs. By the way, like and subscribe, share the show. Venmo is a great way to support the show. Patreon.com/AlSparks. All right.
And so they no longer attach themselves to facts.
Like a bunch of yeah.
I have some things
I know.
I think I know about this situation.
Right. I mean, that's basically the I guess the mission statement of your show. I have some things I think I know about this.
That
this ain't one of them.
I think is really important.
Right, and there's some disagreement about that.
But I'm not going to share them because I don't have any facts to back them up.
You do realize you wrote a book called The Great Reset that said we were basically going to have Nasara Jassara, or the erasure of our banking system, 2 years ago.
I don't have any evidence to...
Right, we understand that. This is the Glenn Beck Show.
Back it up. I have gut feelings. So...
Right, ass feelings.
Glenn, why don't you say it? Because they're gut feelings.
He says his gut feelings all the time.
They're not facts.
We know this.
And when you're talking about the destruction of people,
You mean like immigrant families and LGBT folks and women and minorities and poor people?
when you're talking about war and
Oh, I see. Just I was sorry. I was thinking about the destruction of other people. Just the blowing up of people. The people who would be blown up. Sure.
killing people, when you're talking about possibility of World War III, when you're talking about dividing this nation into two groups.
4.
I hate them Jews.
Okay. All right. Is that these are equal part groups? Is it? Group 1 is all right. Everybody on team I hate them Jews. I'm just gonna say that from the way you say it, it sounds like you think Joe Kent has bad grammar. But okay.
And I just want to know what the truth is. I don't want to get involved in anybody else's.
Sorry, those are the two groups. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I just want to know what we should just let versus I hate them Jews. Everything else is just a wash.
When you're dividing us
Yeah, Joe Kent for clicks.
this hard,
How hard are we talking?
on something this dark, produce the damn evidence, Joe.
Yeah, he can't because he was counterterrorism director, and he can't actually release those things. So if you're saying it's like the Pentagon Papers, he just quit and tried to dip his hat, say why he quit because he felt like he had to, but he can't exactly release the evidence because that would be traitorous. I mean, he could go to jail for it, I guess. So you're saying, put up or shut up, I suppose, around that. I mean, the irony is that he'd commit a big crime, and then Trump would, if he said nice things about him in 2 years, he'd pardon him anyways.
Produce the evidence.
Yeah. So that I can say something.
If you're right, I'll stand with you. But produce the damn evidence.
That's right, Joe Kent. Leak like the wind.
All you did was, while other people were just pouring gasoline over our entire nation.
I think that's what Trump wants to do, isn't it? Isn't that part of drill baby drill? And
All of our
isn't Trump's policy is dig we must and gas baby gas? I think so.
institutions. You just sat in the corner and just like, I'm just going to flick matches. I'm going to flick matches.
You absolutely, well.
Let me tell you what I know, but I'm not going to tell you how I know it. I can't prove anything.
Oh, sorry. Glenn's afraid he's right. And he's worried now that he's fighting on the wrong side of this issue. And if Joe Kent turns out to be right, that somehow they influence Trump or that becomes the narrative amongst MAGA, Glenn's going to be left holding the bag because his gut feelings that he passed off as facts are going to turn out to be wrong.
It's just my gut feeling.
It's your gut feeling that he's throwing matches, or that's an analogy?
Produce the evidence, Joe.
Yeah, Joe. Produce the evidence that'll get you thrown in jail, and which apparently you wrote a letter about something. And by the way, the irony is that the story that they're using about Joe Kent after he left is that he's the leaker that was giving to Axios. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Tim Pool's face here, except that it's Tim Pool's face. But breaking report, Joe Kent was leaker who had been cut from president's intel briefings for months from the Western Journal. And so that's why they got rid of him, because he was the leaker. That's where Lana Douche was also going in terms of this as well.